Hello, everybody. Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today is your City Administrator, Chad Brecklin. Chad, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
I am doing well, Jeremy. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful, my friend. We've got a lot to talk about in this January, starting the new year off, and which I guess we're a couple of weeks in now, so it doesn't feel as new, but still new. But we'll get to 2023 talks, but let's talk about some things that are coming up here in the near future. One is the election. Now, it's not that there's a lot of action here in Fitchburg in the primary coming up, but we will have other things coming up when we get to the spring election. But for details, at least so far, what do you know, Chad?
What I do know, Jeremy, is that there will be a spring primary for our statewide Supreme Court race. I believe there are 4 candidates who have filed for that particular position. And in conversation with our city clerk, Tracy Oldenburg, we are planning for primary on February 21st, I believe. And all polling locations will remain the same as they were in our most recent election back in November. So folks, wherever you voted in November, you will vote there again for our spring elections here in Fitchburg.
Yeah, and really, when it comes to the spring election, we do have a mayor race going on, and we do have an open seat that is going uncontested. So, yes, it's a big race coming up for Fitchburg, but in some regards, not too bad as far as what's on the polls there. But we'll keep you up to date with that. And of course, you want election stuff to get out there. You want to be able to know where you can find more information. Clerk's department does a great job of getting information out there. But Chad, for people who just are maybe just moved into the city or not sure where to begin, what do you give the advice to those new residents?
Well, there's a couple of resources available, one of which you already mentioned, and there is a lot of information out on our city's website regarding voting in Fitchburg and in Wisconsin in general. You can always call our city clerk's office at 608-270-4200 and ask for our city clerk and mention that you have some questions regarding voting. And then finally, there is a link, I believe, on our website to My Vote Wisconsin. .gov, and that also is an opportunity for people to go ahead and enter in their address, determine if they're a registered voter, and then see where their polling location is at based upon their address.
It is all out there at our website, fitchburgwi.gov. Right on the homepage there, you can get access right into the election information and more. And Tracy's going to be so proud of you, Chad, for helping get the word out. But we move on to road construction, and people are going to be like, "Why are you talking about road construction in the wintertime?" Well, it's coming up, and we've got some 2 major corridors, one that was already in progress, but now on the other side of the same road, we're going to have some road construction. So let's start with the Lacey Road Seminole intersection there, that project, and going out to Fitchrona.
Yeah, that project is, I think, scheduled to go out for bidding here yet this month, with bids being opened at the end of February and construction likely starting in the spring, right around April would be my guesstimate at this point in time. And that project is going to obviously cause a little bit of inconvenience for our residents and anybody who's commuting through that area as one of our main east-west thoroughfares in the city. And we'll be doing road reconstruction from Seminole Highway back towards Fitchrona Road. That road will have some urbanized components added to it based upon the growth of the city, as well as future planned growth, and then, of course, current and future traffic volumes that'll be utilizing that road. And we'll also be putting in a roundabout at the intersection of Seminole Highway and Lacey Road. That is planned to take place during the summertime when the schools are out of session. So if all goes well, the intersection itself will be under construction and ideally completed in time for school starting in the fall of this year to help minimize what can already be a congested area during those school drop off and pickup times.
Yeah, it's timing's everything on this one for sure. And yes, we'll see that intersection done pretty quickly here to get things rolling. And then, like you said, the work will finish off towards Fitrona Road there. And yeah, more urbanized road there, super important for safety and access for all modes of traffic. Moving across the roadway. Same type of project actually happening on the other side of Lacey Road, but this is Lacey and Sayin Road. That project started last year and continues on. What do you have for updates on that side?
Yeah, as you mentioned, Jeremy, this has been a multi-year project. Particularly if you take the section of Sign Road that went down to Irish Lane or just south of Irish Lane. I think that was done in 2021. And then we started some more work in the area of Lacey Road, Sign Road and East Shirley Parkway, doing some work here starting last fall. And that project will be wrapping up in the spring of this year, which will include some improvements at the railway crossing at Lacey and Sayin, as well as adding some traffic signals to both Lacey and Sayin and East Shirley Parkway. And just for future planning purposes, 2024, we are planning on completing that Sign Road project, which will take that section just north of East Shirley Parkway all the way to McCoy Road, completely reconstruct that in a more urbanized fashion to account for, again, increased traffic volumes and development and bicycle and pedestrian crossings as well. And then there'll also be a new intersection designed and constructed at McCoy Road and Sayin Road as well. So that big sweeping curve, at least in the preliminary plans that I've seen, will go away to become a T intersection there. So lots happening. I know that it's been a long road with the reconstruction there, no pun intended, on Sign Road. And, I also want to acknowledge we did have a tragic fatality crash involving a motor vehicle and a pedestrian earlier this month on Sign Road. And that is obviously something that the city is paying very close attention to in regards to the police investigation. And once that investigation is complete, what the contributing factors to that crash were. At this point in time, we don't have any idea specifically that is available that identifies what those contributing factors are, or at least that have been shared with me. But I have asked our design team on the Sign Road project, particularly the phase for next year, to take a look at that crash report completed by the police department once it's completed, and they can take a look at those contributing factors if any were identified as it relates to the cause of that particular incident.
Chad, you were on the police department for a long time, so you have an understanding of safety and when it comes to roadways, but in this new position that you're in now, you get to see it from another side of it and working on the design of this roadway. But we've seen a lot of rural roadways that we've had a lot of development in rural areas, and now we're trying to bring that infrastructure up to match the growth, and I think that will help in future safety pieces. We don't know what happened with this, again, like you said, we don't know the details, but ultimately safety is the priority when we're doing these road constructions and re-updating it and redesigning it and taking public input as well.
Yeah, there has certainly been a public input component to the Sign Road project, as well as typically any road project we do, these major road project. There's always an opportunity where city staff from our engineering department and our consultants that we will utilize on these projects will have community meetings where folks can come in and take a look at least the preliminary designs and concepts for the road reconstruction projects, share any feedback from their daily use and or interaction with those segments of roads that the design team and or the engineers from the city just may not have that level of knowledge, just based upon the fact that someone who lives and utilizes those particular road segments day in and day out would be able to gather that level of knowledge and be able to share that feedback. So definitely an important component of any of those major reconstruction projects to seek input from those who are most likely to have some really valuable feedback.
All right, Chad, appreciate the update and your time as always. We'll check back with you next month.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jeremy.